Some 30 Yellowstone County inmates who tested positive with COVID-19 last week are just days away from being moved out of isolation and back into the jail's general population. But first, inmates will have to get clearance from the jail's 24/7 medical staff as they continue to monitor cases and symptoms at the detention facility. This all after a male inmate tested positive last week, prompting the county to test 70 other inmates in that unit. 30 tested positive and were moved to isolation. However, long before the outbreak happened, the Yellowstone County Sheriff feared a spike in COVID-19 cases could be coming to his jail as that virus started to take off. And although staff at the Yellowstone County Detention Facility can segregate the inmates who test positive, overcrowding in Montana jails remains an issue. As MTN's Andrea Lutz reports, it's a problem that likely won't go away even when the virus does.
When the Montana Supreme Court asked judges across Montana to release nonviolent inmates from Montana jails to reduce the spread of COVID-19 in March,
I think we were down to about 330 to 340 inmates at one time.
Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder had an instinct the virus would show up in his jail anyway.
We knew those people would be coming back, at least some of them. We anticipated what was going to happen and we prepared for it.
The staff prepared by closing off sections of the jail to use for the sole purpose of quarantine, a move they made all the way back in March. Back then, Montana Supreme Court Chief Justice Mike McGrath said due to the confines of jails, it would be virtually impossible to contain the spread of the virus.
We kept room available for isolation. We kept room available for quarantine, and that's what we're doing now. The problem is the numbers continue to grow.
An unforeseen consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic that's impacted capacities at jails, a spike in domestic abuse cases.
Probably because of the lockdowns and a lot of people staying at home, they go to jail. And we don't make the decision that, well, we're not going to put them in jail because of the overcrowding. They end up in jail and we make room for them.
In just a few short months, the jail's capacity has grown once again to numbers in the 500 inmate range.
We're crowded and we're dealing with it.
80 of those inmates are Department of Corrections holds. And while overcrowding is an issue in most Montana's jails, Linder says those inmates will not move anytime soon, especially with new COVID cases.
We pretty much anticipated that was going to happen, and we weren't sure if we were going to get another spike in COVID activity in the jail or not. But we've got a great staff down here. They do a good job. We've got 24-hour medical, and so they're able to keep an eye on things and manage it, and that's what we do.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Thanks, Andrea. Today's inmate capacity at the jail is roughly 480. Linder also tells us when COVID impacts the jail, each inmate is tested.